All right, so hopefully you were successful in finding those P arms and Q arms. And I'm going to guess that some of you might have saw, hey, did you, another group? If you were in a classroom, you might have said, hey, did you get the same as I got for the P arm and Q arm? Um, and don't worry, I'm hoping that you get as close as can. There's some times where you might make a little bit of an error counting, but again, when we're done here, we'll have this big long chromosome that we'll have listed the anatomy of. So no problem if you were off by a count. Just be careful. All right, so now we need to be super careful with what we do for the rest of the time. So in this task, what we're going to be doing is we're looking for the promoter genes. Now remember, the promoter is sort of like the beginning of the gene. This is where different things are going to attach to the chromosome to start reading the chromosome. Now we said it was going to be the ribosome earlier, but in fact it's a little more complicated than that. And what's really going to attach to this is a molecule that's called RNA polymerase, but we'll see that a little bit later. But what we're going to be looking for now are what are called the TATA boxes. We're looking for the TATA boxes. Now the TATA boxes are in all eukaryotic cells. We've talked about eukaryotic, that's us, that's everything except for bacteria. Every promoter gene is really similar, has a similar sequence. Now you do have to also remember that this is a much simplified version of things. But our TATA box is a repeating segment, and I'm actually looking at my TATA box, and you might go, oh, I think I see it. My first TATA box is right here. So the TATA box is a repeat of T-A-T-A-A-A. T-A-T-A-A-A. You get ta-ta. And so this is the promoter gene. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to label that as number 1. This is actually gene number 1. This is the beginning of gene number 1. Now also remember that we also said that genes will have a certain start. And if you notice right here, this TAC, you will actually notice in all of your TATA boxes that you find along your DNA, the next 3 letters will be TAC. I about said talk. Will be TAC or TAC. That's our start. And so this is going to be the start of the gene, and that's where we'll start reading it. Remember, we said this is like a blueprint, but that's where we'll start reading. So with that being said, what I want you to do is I want you to go through your DNA carefully and look for all the TATA boxes. Every time you come to the next TATA box, put a square around it or put a box, haha, like a TATA box, and label it with the next number. So with me, or when you find your first one, circle this first one and label it number 1. That's going to be gene number uno, number 1. So you'll carefully look through here and you're looking for the next TATA box. There aren't many genes in here, and sometimes they're going to be really spaced out, but look carefully and see. And then I will give you in the next sequence, I will probably give you the number, because actually I've got to find my TATA boxes too. All right, so report that on the next slide of how many you find. All right, good luck finding those TATA boxes.